These are the events that took place exactly 30 years ago on November 16th, 1994. Today we have a major ruling in the United States. On this day, a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order on California's controversial Proposition 187. Proposition 187 was a ballot initiative that passed just a week earlier on November 8th. It had a clear majority of 59% of California voters voting in favor. This measure was to stop undocumented immigrants from accessing most public services in the state, including education, healthcare, and welfare. The campaign leading up to the vote was pretty intense. Supporters argued that California, with an estimated 1.3 million undocumented immigrants at the time, simply could not afford to keep providing these services. They believed that the state was facing economic hardship and limiting access to public resources would ease the burden. But opponents saw it differently. They argued that the proposition was fueled by xenophobia and would lead to discrimination against immigrants, particularly those of Hispanic and Asian origin. The state was divided and things got pretty heated. Leading up to the vote, there were large protests, including a massive demonstration in downtown Los Angeles, where around 70,000 people took to the streets. Student walkouts from high schools and universities swept across the state, with thousands of young people voicing their opposition. This was a highly emotional time, and the image of students carrying Mexican flags at protests became iconic and also controversial, as some saw it as a sign of clear division. California's governor at the time, Pete Wilson, was one of the main backers of Proposition 187, even making it a central issue in his re-election campaign. Wilson argued that drastic action was needed to manage the state's resources. But President Bill Clinton and other high-profile figures urged voters to reject the proposition, warning it would complicate federal immigration policies and could even lead to legal challenges. And they were right. The very day after it passed, lawsuits started pouring in. Immigrant rights groups, civil liberty organizations, and even California's own teachers' associations fought against it. Just days after, on November 16th, Judge Matthew Byron issued a temporary restraining order, effectively halting Proposition 187 before it could even be implemented. Over the next few years, the law would continue to face legal battles until it was eventually deemed unconstitutional in 1997. By 1999, California's new governor, Gray Davis, officially dropped the state's appeals, finally putting an end to the measures. Proposition 187's legacy is a big one. Many analysts believe that the political fallout from this initiative changed California's political landscape for good. As immigrant communities grew and mobilized, the state's demographics and political attitudes shifted, which some would say contributed to the decline of the Republican Party in California in the years that followed. And that was November 16th, 1994. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more history highlights every day.